Morning, students. In last class, we have started the Ethernet. In Ethernet, we have seen different type of Ethernets: classical Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabyte Ethernet, and 10 gigabyte Ethernet. Okay. After that, we are going to start the next topic, that is wireless LAN. That is named as IEEE. The name in IEEE standard for wireless LAN is IEEE 802.11. Okay, in this topic, we are going to discuss about the IEEE 802.11 architecture and services, and as well as IEEE 802.11 protocol stack. Okay, these are the topics we are going to discuss in IEEE 802.11. Let's introduce about IEEE 802.11. In 1990, the IEEE Standard Committee formed a new working group, that is IEEE 802.11. This was specially dedicated to wireless LANs. Okay, here this particular IEEE 802.11 is to develop a MAC protocol. Okay, all you need to understand what is a MAC. MAC is a sublayer of data link layer. That is the reason why we are discussing about MAC in this unit. Okay, here see in the diagram in the bottom in OSI reference model, we are having 7 layers in OSI reference model. In that, see, in the data link layer is divided into 2 sublayers, namely the below sublayer is MAC sublayer, the above sublayer is LLC sublayer. LLC means 802.2, MAC means 802.3. Okay, in the physical layer we are having 802.3 Ethernet cable, 802.4 token bus, 802.5 token ring, and 802.11 wireless LAN. Student, why we are discussing all these topics here means our topic is 802.11 wireless LAN. Here, the physical layer is responsible for to connect with others' physical layer, other users' physical layer, right? That may be that the connection between one physical layer to another physical layer is a transmission medium. The transmission medium either 802.3, that is Ethernet cable, or 802.4, that is a token bus, or that may be a 802.5 token ring. These three, apart from these three, the other wireless LAN medium in the physical layer is 802.11 wireless LAN. In this, the stations are connected in wireless fashion. They are connected in a wireless LAN. That is the reason why we mentioned that one in the physical layer. Okay, all these are transmission medium types. Okay, the main concept of 802.11 is to develop a MAC protocol and physical medium specification. See, these are some key standards of IEEE 802.11. These are some. See, the standard we are seeing IEEE 802.11 followed by extensions. Okay, you can go through this table and you can remember the names. This is for your information. Let's see how IEEE for every standard it is having IEEE 802.11. The extensions will be, see the extensions A, B, C, D, E, G, I, N, T, C, and D. A, C, and D. These are the extensions and the scope of that extension. Okay, just go through the table and just note it down. Now, in the wireless LAN, we need to discuss about the Wi-Fi alliance. Here, there is always a concern whether the products from different vendors are successfully interoperate. Here, for that purpose, the Wireless Ethernet Compatibility Alliance, WECA. Okay, the main concept of this one is the interoperability of products, interoperability of 802.11 products. That means it is very simple to understand, students. Here, even though products from different vendors, the products from different vendors located at different places, and still they are connected in wireless LANs. Our aim is we need to create a test suite to certify interoperability of 802.11 products. That means how it will works. See, this picture this diagram is IEEE 802.11 architecture. It is very, very important with respect to examination point of view also. IEEE 802.11 architecture. Coming to the components of this, architecture, we are having, see here, we are having basic architecture, basic service set. This is called as BSS and access point and distribution system. Access point, BSS, basic service set, distribution system, DS, and portal, and IEEE 802.X LAN. This is the wireless LAN, and extended service set. This is extended service set, and we are having STA 1, 2, 3. These are all our stations. STA stands for stations. Now, individually, we will discover, we will find what is BSS, what is DS, and what is ESS. Okay, let's see. In the BSS, first we will see the BSS, this particular box and this particular box. This is the BSS. Coming to BSS, in BSS, some stations are connected. Okay, several stations are connected, and the main purpose of BSS is it provides short range of wireless communication. See here, in the basic service set, it will provide short range of wireless communication. See, in this diagram, we are having in this BSS station 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stations we are having in this diagram. These stations are in a short range. So it provides short range wireless communication. Now see, extended service set. First we will see the difference between ESS and BSS. Coming to the extended service set, this will provide long range wireless communication. It will provide long range wireless communication. And in BSS, see here, this one, in BSS, all stations communicate with each other. All stations. It is a group of stations or set of stations that can communicate each other. Here, stations may be considered as computers or components which are connected to a wired network. See here, I am saying wireless connection. But again I am saying these are connected to wired network, not these stations. See, this basic service set is connected to wired network through an access point. See, for this point, this is an access point. For this BSS, this is an access point. Okay. Now coming to the extended service set, as the name is suggesting that it is a group of BSS, extended service set. It is the group of BSS, that means basic service set, or one or more interconnected BSS along with their wired network. See, this is a basic service set. This basic service set is connected to distribution system through this access point. This is a basic service set containing the stations, and this is connected to wired system with by using this access point. Okay, then what is the distribution system and what is the portal? Okay, hope you understand, students. See, as I told you, the basic service set consisting of some number of stations executing the same protocol. Why? Because that is the group of stations. Those group of stations are executing same MAC protocol and competing for access to the same shared wireless medium. See, all these stations in the basic service set are executing same MAC protocol and competing for access to the same shared wireless medium. All the stations in the basic service set are sharing the same wireless medium and executing the same MAC protocol. Okay, that is what they are saying here. A BSS may be isolated or it may connect to backbone distribution system through an access point. See, the BSS is connected to distribution system through an access point. Okay, this is the point I mentioned. Next, in BSS, client stations do not communicate directly with one another. In BSS, the client stations do not communicate directly with one another. See here, in BSS, these stations not directly communicate. Suppose station 1 is not directly communicate with 2 and 2 is not communicate with 3 and so on. Okay. See, if these are communicated, student, this is the very key point we noted, because this will show you the difference between the ad hoc wireless network and the normal wireless network. For the ad hoc wireless network, we don't use any access point. For normal wireless network, we are using wireless LAN. We are using an access point. See here, in normal wireless LAN, these stations in basic service set do not communicate directly. Whereas in wireless ad hoc network, it doesn't use an access point so that the stations can communicate directly. See, this particular point I pointed, in BSS, the client stations do not communicate directly with one another. Okay. This is different case. In IBSS, this is IBSS. In this IBSS, IBS is nothing but a wireless ad hoc network. See, this is in this point. An IBS is typically an ad hoc network. Here, no AP is involved. That AP means access point. Here, there is no AP. So, see here, this is IBSS. It is one type of ad hoc. What is the meaning of ad hoc? Yes, you can know the meaning of ad hoc. Okay, ad hoc means an independent like that. Here, there is no access point. See in this. The stations in BSS, see, this is one station and this is another station. These two are communicating. These two are communicating in a which fashion? This particular point represents wireless fashion. Okay, Wi-Fi symbol. This is the Wi-Fi symbol. These two communicate with wireless fashion. Okay, this is happening in case of ad hoc network. Now coming to the next point, that is an extended service set is consisting of 2 or more basic service set or sets interconnected by a distributed system. See, extended services is containing 2 or more basic service set interconnected by a distribution system, DS. See, to integrate the IEEE 802.11 architecture with a traditional wireless LAN, a portal is used. Our topic is IEEE 802.11. To integrate this IEEE 802.11 architecture with a normal traditional LAN. Traditional LAN means wired LAN. To integrate these two, what we will be needed? We need a portal. We need a portal to integrate wireless LAN and traditional LAN. See, IEEE 802.x means this is not wireless. This is a traditional LAN. What is this? This is a wireless LAN. and this is a traditional LAN. For to join this, okay, what we needed, we need a portal. We need a portal to integrate these two. IEEE 802.x means wired LAN. IEEE 802.11 means wired LAN. To integrate these two, we need a portal. See here, the operating modes of IEEE 802.11. See, the first one is IEEE 802.11 infrastructure mode. Okay, here see in the infrastructure mode, this is for your understanding, at least one wireless access point and one wireless client in the infrastructure mode. See here, this is a distribution system. See, this is a wired network, right? This is a wired network, and this is a wired network. What is this 1, 2, 3? This is one basic reverse diagram. Okay, this is these three 1, 2. So sorry, this is computer. This is computer. This is an access point. See, just understand, students. This is computer. This is computer. This is an access point, and this is one computer. This is computer. This is an access point. This is one BSS. This is one another BSS. These two BSS comes under one ESS, right? These BSS are connected to distribution system. This line, horizontal line, indicates distribution system. This distribution system, this is distribution system is connected to wired network by using a portal. This particular one is called portal. This is IEEE 802.x, and this is IEEE 802.11. In IEEE 802.11, these three, 1, 2, 3. This is one BSS. In BSS, we are having at least one wireless station. See, at least one wireless access point and one wireless client. We are having access point and one client, so it is called as one BSS. This is another BSS. These two will together, it is said to be ESS. This access point is connected to a distribution system. This distribution system is connected to normal wired network by using a portal. Okay, this is the infrastructure mode of IEEE 802.11. Next, this is normal case. This is ad hoc case. Ad hoc case, what I told you, IBSS, right? In this, in IB, see the difference. The differences between BSS and IBSS. In BSS, there is an access point. In IBSS, there is no access point, and the stations are directly communicate with each other. In BSS, the stations are not directly communicate with each other. See here, the wireless clients communicate directly with each other without using of wireless access point. See here, we are having three stations. These three stations are communicating without an access point, and these can communicate directly. Okay. See, this is also some terminology used in IEEE 802.11 access point AP. I need to tell you what is an access point. It is an entity that has station functionally and provides access to distribution system via wireless medium for associated stations. This is the meaning of access point. Access point is nothing but a router. See, all you can see the routers, right? That comes under an access point. Okay. Next, basic service set we have seen. Coordination function. Now we need to know about the distribution system. It is a system used to interconnect the set of BSS and integrated LANs to create ESS. See here, this is distribution system, right? Okay. What is this? Is the just see the diagram once. This is the distribution system, and I will let you know. a system which is used to interconnect set of BSS. Set of BSS means we are having several BSS and integrated LANs. Integrated LANs means we are having wireless LAN and wired LANs. Okay, for wireless LAN and wired LAN to integrate these LANs, and finally we will create a ESS. What will be in ESS? ESS will provide large range of communication, and it is containing of some integrated LANs, and it is containing of some BSS. Okay, and extended service set we have seen, frame, we know frame and all these things. Okay, these are the some terminologies which we are using majorly in IEEE 802.11. Coming to the terminology in IEEE 802.11, each layer has SDU as input. See, these two are physical layer and data link layer, right? The physical layer is divided into two sublayers. Data link layer is divided into two sublayers. As we know about the physical data link layer, the below sublayer is MAC sublayer, the above sublayer is logical link control sublayer. Now coming to the physical layer, the below layer is PMD sublayer, physical medium dependent sublayer, and the above layer is PLCP, physical layer convergence procedure. Physical layer convergence procedure. Just this is for information. And see, each layer makes protocol data unit. In OSA reference model, I told you, for each layer we are having a protocol data unit. For physical layer it is PPDU, for data link layer it is MPDU and MSDU. For each layer we are having, for network layer it is a packet, for the transport layer it is a segment, like that. For session layer it is a SPDU, for presentation layer it is a PPDU, for application layer it is an IPDU. Application layer protocol data unit, presentation layer protocol data unit, like that. Just you go through OSA reference model diagram, you might understand about the physical layer data unit, protocol data unit. See here, SDU, that is service data unit, may be fragmented or aggregated from PDU. SDUs may be fragmented or aggregated to form a PDU. Okay, sum of SDUs to form a PDU. The PDUs have header specific to the layer. See, this is the PDU, protocol data unit. It will be like header field and data. This data field is containing of. See, SDU is containing. SDUs may be fragmented or aggregated to form PDU, right? See, this data is SDU. This PPDU means physical layer protocol data unit. This is about physical layer. Okay. And coming to the services of, this is the second point. We have seen the IEEE 802.11 on architecture, and IEEE, coming to the IEEE 802.11 services. This table shows you some of the services provided by wireless LAN, having three fields. One is the type of service and service provider and used to support. See here, the first service is an association. This association, what is an association? Here the association is in between wireless LAN and wired LAN. Wireless LAN and wired LAN. Okay, who will provide services? Distribution system. Why? Because the distribution system is connected to IEEE 802.xlan by using portal, so that it will provide an association between wired LAN and wireless LAN. Okay, it is used to support MSDU delivery. MSDU delivery. Next, authentication. Service is authentication. It will be provided by a station used to support LAN access and security. Suppose some station wants to access the LAN, it needs to be authenticated first. It needs to be authenticated first. Coming to deauthentication, this is also done by station, and the support is same as the authentication. Disassociation. Okay, this is also same, association and dissociation by using distribution system. Next, distribution. Distribution is done by using distribution system. Integration, distribution, disassociation, and association. All these four factors service provider is distribution system. Next, MSDU data delivery. That is station used to support MSDU data delivery. And coming to privacy, it is also related to security. It is also done by station. Next, reassociation is also done by distribution system. This is about the IEEE 802.11 services. What is the meaning of MSDU? What is the meaning of MSDU? I'm repeatedly saying, see here so many times, MSDU is nothing but MAC layer service data unit. See in this diagram we have seen MSDU here. See, this is MSDU, MAC layer service data unit. Okay. MPDU means MAC layer protocol data unit. For every layer, we are having one service data unit and one protocol data unit. This is for physical layer. Physical layer service data unit, and this is physical layer protocol data unit. For data link layer, we are having MSDU, MAC layer service data unit, MAC layer protocol data unit. Okay. Here, the PDU is the protocol data unit. It is containing two fields. One is header field and second one is data field. In the data field, we are having SDU, okay, service data unit. Okay. These are the services provided by wireless LAN. They're not. Yeah, these are the MAC layer covers three functional areas. Here, the IEEE 802.11 MAC layer. MAC layer is nothing but the below layer of data link layer. It will provide majorly reliable data delivery service, the access control service, and security service. These three are the major functional areas of MAC layer in wireless LAN. See how first service or first functional area that the MAC layer is concentrating on is reliable data delivery. Okay, here 802.11 physical and MAC layers are unreliable. Why we are saying these 802.11 physical and MAC layers are unreliable? Physical layer, you know, that is the below layer. And what is the MAC layer? Data link layer, below layer. These two are said to be unreliable in 802.11. Why? Because here there might be a noise and interference and other propagation effects result in a loss of significant number of frames. Why? Because here see, here in the wireless networks, wireless LANs, the channel may be noisy. There might be interference. That means one data is propagated, one data is interfered with other data, and the propagation effects also results in a loss of significant number of frames in the data link layer. Okay, this issue can be addressed at a higher layer such as TCP. Okay, this problem will be solved at transport layer. This transport layer, that is at TCP level. Here, the the timers used to retransmission at higher layers are typically on the order of seconds. See, whenever the frames got lost, we need to retransmission. Here, the retransmission time will be in the order of seconds. Okay. Second one, in case of reliable data delivery, is more efficient to deal with errors at MAC level. Okay. Here, IEEE 8.02.11 is more efficient to deal with errors at MAC level, and it includes the frame exchange protocol. Here, the station receiving frame returns. Here, the station which receiving the frame returns with an acknowledgement frame. Here, the exchange is treated as an atomic unit. An atomic unit is nothing but for one exchange of frame and receiving of an acknowledgement. This is called as an atomic unit. If no acknowledgement within a short period of time, that leads to be a retransmit. Okay. Our concept is how it will be reliable data delivery. Reliable data delivery is nothing but we are using an acknowledgement scheme. To further enhance reliability, 4-frame exchange may be used. Here, see, this particular part is called 4-frame exchange. See, first, 4-frame exchange means source issues a request to send RTS frame. That means I am a source, you are a destination. Suppose whenever I issue a RTS, that means RTS means I am ready to send. Okay. Then destination responds with a clear to send. That means whenever you are ready to receive the frame from me, then you will send me a reply with CTS. After receiving CTS, source transmits the data. That means I transmit the data after receiving CTS from you. Then the destination responds with acknowledgement. Destination responds with acknowledgement. This process is called as 4-frame exchange. That means I am ready to send, being a source. That means I need to send RTS to the destination. I am ready. RTS means ready to send. If the destination is ready to receive the frame from me, it will send in a reply CTS. That means clear to send. After receiving CTS from destination, I will transmit the frame. After receiving the frame from source, the destination will reply with the acknowledgement to the source. This is called as 4-frame exchange. In this, RTS and CTS will be used to send the frames. Here, this particular RTS and CTS, suppose this will reduce the collisions. This will reduce the collisions. How it will be like, suppose I am a sender, you are a receiver. I want to transmit a frame to you. At that time, you are also transmitting one frame. You are also transmitting. Then what you will do? You don't send CTS at the time. Okay. Till CTS I received from you, I need to wait for transmission. Okay. If you are doing other transmission, at the time I am also done transmission. The collisions happens at destination machine. That is the reason why this RTS scheme and CTS scheme will remove the collisions. Okay. These two techniques, RTS and CTS, will be used in multiple access with collision avoidance. Multiple access with collision avoidance. That means whenever the multiple users are using the same channel, in that particular case, by using this RTS and CTS, we can avoid the collisions in the channel. Okay, this is the called as 4-frame exchange method. Okay, in tomorrow's class, we are going to discuss about MAC algorithm. Okay, thank you, students. I will wait for some time.